All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, viewing at home. Y'all already know the deal. It's Kinetic Aesthetic. It's your boy Jerm. I hope that you are all having a beautiful Thursday and an even better week. But let's go ahead and get into it. GTA 6, the most hyped up media project in history, has finally released some news. We finally got the pre-order links available. If you haven't already, head over to whatever platform that you use to game or look at stuff, pre-order it. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, it is going to be it's going to be the biggest thing in just media history. Like November 19th, I think the world is probably going to be really, really slowed down because there's going to be a lot of people just in the fucking house. Now, with all that in mind, all the hype and all of that hyperbole out of the way, there has been some concerns. There has been some very, very troubling developments when it comes to the game. And I just want to get into that. And I want to talk about not only that, I want to talk about the stuff that we have learned, that we've seen. And then I just want to go over and just, talk about how things have gotten this way, why people are so worried about certain things, and just how crazy it is that we're even at this point. But to start things off, today, like I said, the pre-order links did become available. There was a lot of hype that there was going to be a third trailer that was going to drop along with it, but as of this recording, that has still not happened. I am a little bit peeved by the fact that they are taking this long to drop a third trailer, something that's going to really give us a proper idea of what the gameplay is going to look like. But at the same time, I am not really irked by it. They did release, like I said, a crap ton of screenshots. Like I'm going to be showing them on the screen right now. Listen, it's going to be dope. Lucia, first female character we've had available in GTA. You're going to be able to get her nails done. You're going to be able to do a whole bunch of just stuff. I'm not going to lie to y'all. As cool as it's going to be to just have GTA, I am excited to open up the game and I'm just to like play as Lucia and just see how different it is and what exactly you're able to do, because this really is the first time. We've never had a Red Dead where you played as a woman. We never had a GTA where you played as a woman. This is the first real big entry into Rockstar, and for them, just the level of detail and immersion they go for their games, I want to see what they're going to do in terms of being able to get immersed playing as her. Jason Duvall, the male lead, he is also going to be cool to play as. The screenshots and the stuff that we're able to do with him to customize his look is going to be amazing. I do love the fact that his last name is Duvall, just that little, reference to Florida culture. But I'm sorry, I'm just not as excited. It has nothing to do with him as a character. I think he'll still be interesting and fun. But this is just big to be able to play as her and be able to customize and do everything. The screenshots that we're seeing right now, they're going to show that we're definitely going to be able to customize their look and get them to have some real unique ways to have their appearance looking. Jason, with a mullet, Jason with all these sunglasses, Jason looking like he's out of Miami Vice. That's all really dope to be able to look at and see. I already have an idea of what I'm going to go for as his initial look. And like I said, Lucia, listen, she's just going to be looking nice and just pretty much whatever you want to do with her. Like I said, you're going to be able to get her nails and eyebrows done. They went out of their way in terms of making this shit like real life and all the realism things like that. But past that, we really didn't get too much of an idea. It was mainly just showing off the different looks that they can have and the different clothes that they're going to be able to wear. Most of which, what they appeared to be in those screenshots, is going to be stuff that's only available in the Ultimate Edition. Now, let's actually get to the Ultimate Edition, because that has also been a source of controversy. That is pretty much going to be the $100 edition version of the game. The version is going to come with DLC stuff available and already unlocked cars, things like that. And I've already seen a whole bunch of people who have been complaining about that, who have been saying that's so unfair to the gamers to just leave stuff behind the paywall. And while I do, to a certain degree, understand what you're saying and understand the complaints, I really do think there's some people that need to just shut the fuck up and stop the bitching. Because I'm gonna just put it to y'all like this. Video games are getting more expensive. This is just a fact. Everything is getting more expensive. This is also a fact. Nintendo was actually the first people who pushed the game price up to $80 with the stuff that they did. Everyone else in the industry across the globe just followed suit. So that is why AAA games made by big developers are costing $80. GTA 6, and again, I'm going to say this might be something that I repeat multiple times throughout this episode. It is the most hyped, anticipated, most awaited media project of all time. Movie, TV, radio, whatever the fuck you want to think. Film. This is the most anticipated. Doomsday can kiss my ass. Infinity War, all that bullshit with Marvel that they were doing, nothing is this close to actually like, niggas cannot wait for this. Niggas are really ready. I have a brother who is 7 years older than me. He does not play video games anymore. When GTA 6 is brought up, he is excited about it. He is interested. That is literally just one of those things to where, like, for my generation, even for this generation that is young, I don't think people understand just how anticipated and big this shit is going to be. And I say that to say they could have literally gotten away with charging $100 for this shit and niggas would have bought it. That Ultimate Edition could be $130 to $150, and I don't think you would have heard a majority of people complaining and being like, damn, I didn't expect them to do all that. There would have been some, damn, y'all crazy trying to charge all that, but niggas would have bought it. This is that type of moment. This is that type of element. And it's honestly impressive. Like I said, you have to really give them credit for being able to build up this type of hype and anticipation in this era of everyone being in their own echo chamber, being able to really only focus on what's important to them. GTA is still such a universal thing that connects us all together in terms of enjoyment and being into the series, that this might be that last moment where it's like everybody in the world is sort of locked in for this specific release date. So they could have gotten away with charging way more than they are. This $100 for that Ultimate Edition, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I feel that is a bargain. Now, I am not saying that if they start charging for extra DLC down the line, like $50 for just, doing a heist or doing this or that or anything special like a map upgrade, that's some bullshit. That's not fair. That's going to start to go into the that's just greed. But if they are not doing that, if this is literally just going to be $100 for the DLC, and then you're not, like, again, I can understand shark cards or you force people to have to grind and do a whole bunch of stuff to get the money to buy it stuff. But if you are not going to be locking anything behind the paywall, I think $100 for that Ultimate Edition is fine. Now, the other thing that I've seen people complain about with the Ultimate Edition is the fact that they had it listed on the website that it is going to include tattoo shops, clothing shops, pretty much just aesthetic shit. Shout out Kinetic Aesthetic. But it's going to be aesthetic stuff that they're going to have locked behind the Ultimate Edition. That's going to be just immediately available if you own the Ultimate Edition when you start up the game. I also do not think this is a big deal. I understand some people find it whack. It's not cool that they get to have all the like extra clothes and stuff because they paid the extra $20. But again, if you are sitting here trying to complain and bitch about this as if that is like such a rule breaking, like that's so unfair, I understand you might not have that $100 at the time. I understand you might not have it later when the game's getting ready to come out. That sucks. That is really unfortunate. But that is not a reason for anybody to complain about this game to the point where they're trying to make it seem like Rockstar is being that greedy. Again, I know this is going to sound like I'm just kissing Rockstar's ass and that I'm just trying to, literally not seeing them through any type of negative light. But at the end of the day, they've earned the benefit of the doubt until they prove me otherwise. And bro, it's $20 for just some extra fucking clothes. If you don't feel like spending that extra $20, just don't get it. It's just one little fucking car. It's just a couple of clothes. It's not going to make or break the game, and just some extra tattoos that are made by a special artist. It's really not going to fuck up the game. I think this is just one of those things that modern gamers, for those of you who don't know, we are so used to all these companies that are so greedy that they are nickeling and diming us over a lot of shit that really just shouldn't be charging money. Like, it's gotten to the point now where a lot of companies release games that are damn near unfinished, but they release them anyway just so that they can get the money on time and everything, and then they still charge their player base when they want to release DLC and stuff like that. It's just real greedy practices that are going on right now. So I'm not saying all this and like taking this tone to say that the people complaining are completely wrong or that they are just whiners or broke. But what I am saying is that this is such a special occasion. This is such a special case in this industry that I don't think it's fair to try to shit on Rockstar before they fully show their ass, if that makes sense. Like, I just feel like they have earned the benefit of the doubt with all the stuff that they've given us to not really just demonize them immediately. We got to give them a little bit of time. Now, the final thing that I wanted to touch on, and the thing that I do find the most troubling, and this is the one that is going to speak to a bigger problem that's going to be persisting, not just in video games, but just in the media industry in general, that is the lack of a physical copy. Now, I am recording this before Rockstar has had a chance to elaborate on this, so I do want to give this some type of a chance that maybe that they're just going to release them later in the year or whatever, who knows. But the lack of a physical copy of this game, of this huge game that, again, is the biggest media event in fucking history. The reason why that troubles me so much is because it signals to me that we are getting to a point now where these companies are just feeling comfortable just doing things like this that gives us the full indication, the mask just goes fully off, that we are only renting everything. No matter how much you pay for it, thinking that you're owning it, thinking that it's yours, this is still their property, this is still their IP, and they have the right to cut it off, to cut off the game servers, to just do whatever. If you get banned, you're just fucked. You have no way of playing it. And it just takes away that actual ownership. And I want people to understand that is not a good thing. If there are no more physical DVDs, if everything is going to streaming or digital, all that means that the people that own it, the people that own these websites, the people that are in control of the internet will have the power, will have the ability to cut off your access to whatever you paid for at any given time. Like, that's the thing about owning a whole bunch of digital games and all these places on your PlayStation and everything like that. Yes, it's easier to not have all that physical stuff taking up space, to have more room. But at the end of the day, something happens to your PlayStation, something happens to your computer, anything like that, it's all gone. When you don't have physical copies, when you don't have the ability to really hold what you own in your hand, what you are pretty much saying is that this can be taken away from me at any moment, and I will not have any way to retrieve it or access it. And that is what I find most troubling about the lack of a physical, is because Rockstar is going to be setting a lot of trends with this. They're going to be dictating how a lot of other companies are going to be moving going forward. That is without a fact. After GTA 6, there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to be trying to figure out what they did, see how people responded to a lot of stuff that they're doing, and they're going to move accordingly. And my worst fear is that a lot of these companies are going to start to move away from the physical model completely. And next thing you know, we're going to be only able to own or basically rent all of our favorite stuff, movies, games, films, strictly through digital. Physical copies going extinct will mean that we will no longer truly own shit. And that is not good, y'all. That is not something that we should be just looking at as just something that happens. That is another way that the consumer loses power. It is alarming, I will say, the speed at which we are heading towards this spot in society where all these people that are in the higher ups, that these oligarchs of tech and industry and everything like that, are going to have all the power, that are going to really control even what we are able to enjoy and on what accord and what terms. That is the danger of losing physicals. It is not going to be an immediate thing. It is honestly a symptom of something that's been happening for a long time now, just slowly. But this might be the beginning of it, ramping up and just becoming a bigger and bigger issue. With all that said, though, I am not trying to shit on Rockstar, shit on anybody that is criticizing the game, or shit on anybody that is excited and truly just supporting Rockstar in their development of the game. I just think that these are things that we need to pay attention to, that we need to keep our eyes open to, and people have to really just never get too comfortable or complacent and think that things are going to stay the same, because I have been so alarmed by how quickly things have been changing just with the world in general over the past decade, and it's just going to continue to happen like that. With all that being said, GTA 6 comes out in November. We still have a long time to go. There's still plenty of time for them to release more news, to change their mind on how they're going to do certain things. So we shall see. But this is an exciting time. It is crazy to think that this game that we have been waiting for since, I want to say Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2019, the game has pretty much been on the forefront, pretty much been expected by people ever since. And if had it not been for COVID, there's probably a high chance that we would have gotten the game in 2021 or 2022. But to be honest with you, I'm glad that we didn't, because all this extra weight has done was giving them more time to polish and perfect this. And on top of that, it's created more hype and anticipation for it in terms of the fan base. I would love to hear what you all think. I would love to hear what anybody else thinks about the screenshots, about the news, about about having no physical copies, about any of that stuff. So feel free to comment. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you have to do on whatever streaming platform that you are checking me out on. If it happens to be YouTube, make sure that in addition to all that, you hype up the video so that it gets boosted in the algorithm. But with all that said, this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. This has been your boy Jerm. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your week and an even better weekend, and I'll catch you all again on Monday.